Welcome to the Family Geekery Podcast, a podcast for geeks from a family of geeks. We talk about comics, video games, and anything else geeky. I'm Danny.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Chris.
And we talking about first issue of Magik.
2024.
Was it 2024?
Or 5.
Might be 5.
I forget if it came out at like the end of 2024 or the beginning of 2025.
Sounds like we did our research then.
Yep.
Hopefully we all read the same comic. Because sometimes, Marvel will be like, hey, here's Spider-Man #1. And then like a year later, hey, here's Spider-Man #1.
Well, I read the one that was opened on your iPad, so...
At least the two of us read the same one. We will learn shortly if Amber read the same one.
Out.
Probably.
All right, but before we talk about Magik issue #1, Magik with a K, right?
Yep.
Magik. First, we got to do our
Geeky Weeks.
Who wants to kick off the Geeky Weeks?
There's something we all did.
Whoa.
What we all did.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, you hit it.
I'm talking about it?
It's your game.
Okay, we played a good old card game. Smosh exclusive. Not really, but popularized by Smosh Games. We played Flip 7.
Yeah, the best card game in the world.
Flip 7. That's my first time experiencing that.
It was good. I had an epic round.
Yeah.
Epic 86-point round.
That was pretty
It
amazing.
was like your second score. It was like after busting 20 times.
There's no
There
way.
you go.
Yep.
No way the rest of us could have recovered from that.
I still lost. But
It was close.
I got 3 second chances in a row and didn't need to use any of them because I got 7 cards without duplicating. So.
Every time I got close to 7 cards, I was like, well, I have to go for it. Like, I've got 6 cards. You just gotta go and flip the 7. And every time, it was like 4 times, I would get a duplicate. I would bust.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Fun game, though.
Fun game.
Very fun game. I'll finish out my Geeky Week.
All right.
It's pretty boring, but I finished Squid Games Season 3.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It was good. Crazy. I think it's their last season. And then I'm continuing to watch Love Island USA.
That still
Just
sounds
as
like a lot of
crazy.
work.
I've heard there's some crazy stuff going on. Like, controversial stuff.
Yeah. They dealt with it.
Nice.
And other than that, I've been crocheting,
Oh,
prepping for the con.
Nice.
But that's it for me.
All right, Amber, how about you?
so I also watched Squid Game Season 2. I think I went home, or didn't go home, but I started it right after recording last week, and I texted Danny like, oh yeah, episode 2 was brutal. And so, of course, my entire TikTok feed right now is Squid Game.
Nice.
And also K-pop Demon Hunters. So, a lot of
Nice.
Korean stuff on my TikTok right now. But yeah, finished that. Kind of a weird ending. Don't know if I liked the ending that much, but I think they tied some things up into a little neat bows. Shout out Kate Blanchett. You gotta watch and find out. And then I also finished Traitors Season 2. I think last week I said I started that. Done with that. I think it was a better season finale and ending than the first season of Traitors. So I'm excited to start season 3. But I think that Big Brother is starting back up again soon, so that might be on the back burner. Because Big Brother is my favorite reality show. And then Marvel Rivals is getting a new season soon. So I was finishing up playing ranked, and I actually made it to Diamond, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Because I've never been that high ranked in any game, so proud of myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who were you riding to get there?
Mostly Cloak and Dagger and Rocket Raccoon, but I would play the occasional, like, Emma Frost, because it seemed like the last couple games I played, there would be, like, 3 people hovering Cloak and Dagger, and, like, 2 of them would have the Lord icon, and, like, that means that you play a lot of that person. So I also have Cloak and Dagger as Lord, but, like, when there's 3 other people that want to play that character, and nobody plays tank, I'm like, fine. I can play Emma Frost. It's okay. But, yeah, I was also playing some Invisible Woman, because I got her to Lord also. I was, like, mostly only playing her just to get to Lord on her, and so now my next choice is Rocket. But, I want to play Phoenix when she comes out next season. And she's a DPS. So I'm practicing my DPS right now. I'm practicing my aiming. Because Cloak and Dagger and Rocket Raccoon do not need to aim. And then finally, I read some comics, but there was a standout one. It was the X-Men Hellfire Vigil that came out recently. And it's basically the Hellfire Gala, which is, like, I don't know, the Met Gala of X-Men. It's the Mutants Met Gala, I guess. And it was, like, the whole theme of this season of Marvel Rivals. But it was kind of like a classic, you know, hodgepodge comic book, you know, kind of like Avengers Christmas or whatever. And then Dazzler gets arrested in the end of it by, like, some wacky police. So, I don't know. She gets arrested for using her powers too much during her, like, world tour, which was, like, her last comic book run. I was kind of surprised to see her there in this book, but, like, it was a pleasant surprise. And then she gets arrested. So, who knows what that means?
Everybody
I
loves
guess
a bad
I will
girl.
find out. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. That's it for me.
Cool. So I was, let's see, I saw a couple movies. But I told you guys last time, and you'll probably get tired of this, that I was playing some Autonauts. Had to load it back up. And I'm happy to announce for all those other Autonaut players out there that I completed I forget what it's called, the settlement version or something like that, where you evolve your kingdom into, you know, whatever level 7 is or whatever, by using less than 300 bots. That's the newest mode that they had. So that was it wasn't a hard challenge, but it was an interesting challenge where you had to keep track of all the bots that you were doing, and then instead of just making more, you had to make them more efficient. So some might say I was the Doge of Autonauts.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But I did that. But like I said, watched a couple movies at the theater. So we saw. I saw Megan 2.0. Yeah.
How was that?
Laugh. It was actually a pretty legit story. Now, of course, it's got the quirkiness of the whole premise of Megan, just 2.0, and but it was a good story. Had a lot to do with, you know, trying to figure out which AI was good and which AI was bad, and are they really, like, punking you and they say they're good but they're really bad. So it had a pretty good twist going on back and forth. That was pretty good. And then I also saw the new Jurassic Park movie.
Jurassic World.
The new Jurassic World movie. one of those.
I saw this whole video about how they're calling it Jurassic World because of Universal Studios.
Could be.
Like,
keep the
they
branding.
don't want to retheme their park again.
Yeah. At the very end of it, in the credits, it said based on characters by Michael Crichton. I'm like, what characters in this movie came from Michael Crichton? A dinosaur? Like, there wasn't even, I don't even think there's a T-Rex. There was a D-Rex, and I don't even know what the D stands for. But don't say it, Danny. And but it was a good movie.
Nuts.
A little confusing because, you know, you got Jurassic Park, which is what I grew up with, and you got Jurassic World, which is the more recent version of it. And this one starts off by going back in time 17 years to some event that happened. And I'm like, 17? That's not long enough to be a pre-story to the story. But it was kind of a mid-story to the story. But
Oh, is it like the Rogue One?
it was just, no, it just showed what happened 17 years ago, and then it came immediately to modern times. So it was, I guess, before, you know, the events that led up to Jurassic World, as opposed to Jurassic Park. So no real reference to the park at all, just reference to the world.
Well, supposedly Scarlett Johansson is now the most grossing actor of all time. So
She is
What?
definitely gross. No, yeah, I saw that. Highest grossing actor
yeah.
currently of all time. I don't know. I'd have
Good for
to.
her.
I only read the clickbait title. I didn't click
Same.
into it.
Yeah, me neither.
But I wouldn't doubt it. She's working. She did a good job in the movie. That was good. But also, in the process of watching those two movies, I saw two previews of note, and it wasn't.
What two movies? Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Fantastic Four.
And it wasn't the same previews I've seen in the last 17 movies that we watched, which was Superman, Fantastic Four, and I forget what the other one is, but there was a preview, very short one, but a preview for a movie that's coming out July of 2026. You know what that is?
No.
Wait, Hunger Games?
Nope.
Wait, they didn't even film that.
It's got
That'd
two
be
Marvel
fast.
stars in it. It's got Spider-Man and Punisher.
Spider-Man.
No, I mean, it's not the character Spider-Man and Punisher.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland and John Bernthal.
Oh, I saw this.
Odysseus.
Yes.
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
There's a trailer?
Yeah.
Zendaya's in it too, and a bunch of other people.
Okay,
Very
guys,
short-
this is
very short trailer.
This is my Oppenheimer.
I-
This movie.
I guess it'd be teaser, right? Not trailer, but teaser.
This is my Oppenheimer.
The casting is stacked.
Yeah. For them to be advertising this far out. Do I have to
They've been advertising this.
do I have to read the book
for a
before we
while.
see this movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Do I need to see the
it's not a book.
the Iliad first?
It's an epic poem.
I don't know how much of I read it. I did. but-
I've got 2 copies of it in my room over there. So
do either one of them talk out loud to me?
no.
Okay. they won't
I
help me
wouldn't
then.
want it to talk. I would read the Spark Notes, honestly.
That's what I did.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting
I've had to
seeing-
read that book 3 times for 3 different assignments, and I don't think I read it all the way through each time, but I like it.
You know, we just recently got to see Denzel Washington playing a Roman, even with his New York accent. So now we get to see John Bernthal, or Bernthal? How do you say it?
Berenstain
Shame.
Bears.
Yeah, him being a, what are they, Greeks?
Mm-hmm.
So he gets
Well,
to be a Greek.
There's Greeks and Trojans. Well, yeah.
Well, he's one of them. He's got a big skull on his
Mhm.
chest and a
Huh?
machine gun.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So I don't know what side he's
and a
on.
bald head.
But I think
he's
isn't
gonna win.
Matt Damon in it as the main character?
Might
And
be.
he's from Boston.
Tom Holland was talking about his dad.
Yeah, Tom Holland's going to play Telemachus, who's the son of Odysseus.
Okay. Gotcha. So that was one of the previews or trailers or teasers, whatever it was.
I have
And
to watch this.
the other was another movie that we have covered on this podcast before. In fact, we dedicated a whole month to this game
Halloween.
/ movie /
Oh, FNAF.
Yep.
What?
It's
A whole month.
a sequel. Didn't we do a couple of episodes on
I
it?
think we just did one.
Oh.
Well, we probably did one.
One. It was a long month.
We did not do a whole month.
No? I thought we did one on the movie
Don't
and
give
one
me
on the video
ideas.
games.
Don't give me any ideas.
FNAF February.
Ooh. The shortest month of the year, that's what you'll dedicate to FNAF?
Yeah, we'll dedicate FNAF February. But yeah, it was, I guess they're on the loose now. They're out of the arcade and into the wild. That was all they pretty much showed in the trailer.
Yeah, I think they've had that. If it's the same teaser that they've had out, they've had that one for a little while now.
Okay. Yeah, that was about it. I am still reading Songbirds and Snakes.
Ooh.
And I think I'm getting towards the end because he's returning to the capital.
Oh, then you're there.
I'm pretty close. It took...
You just needed to drive around the block like 3 more times, you would have done it.
Yeah. I was really interested to see between the movie and the book how they told the story of, all the events that happened in the woods at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can tell a lot more of the story when the whole story is being told inside the head of the character, as opposed to when you just see him and he seemingly goes crazy instantly and just starts doing things that you're like, why would he do that?
Right.
So at least you get to hear him reason it through. Now,
quote unquote reason.
It does happen awfully quick.
It is very quick.
Like in a span of minutes, they go from lovebirds to other things happen, but it's a little crazy. But I'm almost there.
How did the reader do? Like, was he like acting up the suspicions? Like,
So I got some stuff to say about that.
ooh,
So the
Say
reader,
it.
the reader's
I'm here
got a
for it.
good voice, and he's got a low voice like me. And whenever he does like female voices, he'll just bring it up a notch. Except when he's doing Macy Gray or whatever the youngest girl's name is,
Maud Ivory.
Maud Ivory, then it goes up another octave past that, so you know that he's a young female instead of just a regular female. So you can tell who's talking, and even if he doesn't do the best girl voices in the world, it's not uncomfortable. You're not like, oh, that's just creepy. But the weird thing is, there is an impressive amount of songs written for this book.
Yeah.
And being a songwriter myself, Grammy Award-winning songwriter,
Dropping some lore.
the songs are good, right? I can tell the songs are good even without hearing the music.
Mm-hmm.
But he's obviously not singing the songs. He's just...
It's more like reading them like a poem.
Yeah, but not even with good timing. He's just reading the words. So I can imagine how they're going in my head. I'm summoning my inner Covey. Covey? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Covey. And putting a little banjo and a little foot stomping behind it. Like especially the recurring song of the "Are You Going to the Tree?"
Mm-hmm.
By the third time that you hear that, you kind of know how it's going. But the song,
especially after seeing the movies.
Well, you remember I have instant no knowledge of movies after I stopped watching them. You're lucky.
How was Megan 2?
You're lucky I remembered that it was Megan 2. But the song that really impressed me the most was the one about the snow.
Oh, the one where she gets her name, where Lucy Gray gets her name?
No, the one that she wrote for him.
Yeah.
The first song that he knew was unequivocally written for him, because the other ones he was supposing that they were written for other boys in her life. But this one definitely, it tells his story and their story together, and it was a really well written song. I'd like to see if I'd have to go back and watch the movie to see how they sang that one song, because I know they didn't sing nearly as many songs as are in the book.
Yeah.
And that's our episode on songbirds and snakes. The end.
I'm not gonna lie. When I read Sunrise on the Reaping, every time there was a song, I skipped past it.
Well, it's not a song. It's The Raven. It's the poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
I was like, oh, different font. Skip.
I did the exact same thing, though. Because, well, towards the end of that one, it would be like the same section of the poem over and over again.
Yeah.
But I've read The Raven. I don't need to reread it every 30 pages.
See, I've read The Raven, too. I didn't even know it was The Raven, because guess what? I didn't read it in the book.
But I guess if I want to sum up my criticism of things that I'm not willing to do myself, the part that really stood out was when Grandmam was supposedly singing at the top of her lungs every morning, the Star of Panem or whatever it is. He's just reading it in the most robotic, square, prosed, poetry that you could ever read something in.
Yeah.
So it's... And I probably would have criticized it more if he attempted to sing the national anthem of Pan Am in a grandma's voice, but...
Hey, I want to know if he tried. Because they have producers on those.
Right,
things.
they're like, no, let's do this takeover.
Let's not do that.
Let's do that again. Let's keep out the cackling of the old lady singing. But yeah, that's about it for me. So with Geeky Weeks out of the way, let's talk about Magik, issue number 1 for Marvel Comics. Magik is a character that we've all heard of before, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Some of us maybe more so from Contest of Champion game.
Yep.
Did you main her for a while, Danny?
I think she was one of my first 5 stars.
Yeah. I remembered something about that character being with your account. But yeah, she's been around for a while. Character that we know as Magik, or what is it, Ilana Rasputin?
Yeah.
Who is sister of Colossus?
Yes. Pieter,
yeah. So this is her standalone comic that has her kind of taking the lead, and a lot of people have been waiting for this. She's a well-liked character.
Especially now that she's in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, bring her. She's in all the video games.
Yeah. She does have a very good, character design for stuff like that, though.
Yeah, big sword.
Big sword.
Big sword and
little
magic
girl,
stuff.
Big sword. It's
no
so
quotes.
fun though, how she's animated in the game.
Does she use her teleport discs or whatever they're called?
Yeah.
In the game?
Well, not her stepping disc, but she teleports.
Oh, okay.
She does a short little dash.
Gotcha. That's kind of neat. So we got a story starting off with her first having kind of a recurring nightmare.
We did read the same one.
Okay. And I guess, and without knowing her complete backstory, just briefly knowing who she is and who she's related to, that's the extent of my knowledge. I do know that she was, I guess, in limbo and kind of being trained to be a bad demon.
She's the queen of Limbo
Yeah.
for a while.
So so kind of trained to perfect her dark magic. So she has kind of a mixed, is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Where do her morals lie? But she's, I guess, apparently broken out of limbo, and she just wants to have a normal life, living her normal mutant life with her brother and having a birthday party where they make her pancakes instead of cake, and she was not appreciative of that. But she has this recurring nightmare of bad things, I guess, kind of following her.
Yeah, Darkchild talking to her. Darkchild's her evil demon part that kind of grew and powered her while she was in limbo.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of gathering.
Yeah.
The demon with the wings that kind of looks like her, but yeah.
It said that Darkchild was quiet when she was in Krakoa. And all these comics, because I'm following this one, and there's a lot of X-Men comics that I'm following right now. They all talk about, oh, Krakoa was destroyed. I'm like, when? Where is this? Where's this plot line? I want to go read this plot line.
Yeah, I don't know what storyline that was.
I gotta find it.
One of the mutant storylines, obviously.
Yeah.
But I guess that was some kind of like safe haven for mutants, some island somewhere, and it's been destroyed.
And they all the X-Men kind of split up. Like there's a group in Alaska, which is where Magik is, and there's a group in New Orleans, which is where Rogue is.
Good place for her.
There's your X-Men of the 2025 as told from a few of the comics that I'm following. There's your lore from now.
There you go. So something's going on in Alaska. Something is kidnapping mutants, making them disappear. And they're having funerals for them, despite the fact that they haven't been found yet. That's a little, that's kind of rushing to it a little bit, but...
Yeah.
The locals of Juneau, Alaska are not too keen on all these mutants being here because the trouble kind of seems to follow the mutants, and that's being just reiterated by the fact that the demons are coming and targeting these mutants.
Yeah.
But Magik wants to get to the bottom of this and, stop it from happening. Maybe help these people. So is that what you've kind of gathered so far? Am I summarizing this up as best as you read? Because I'll be honest, I was a little drowsy when I was reading it.
Oh,
Me too.
I think this one. See, I'm caught up with this series, and for some reason, like even rereading this the second time, it's a little confusing. Like, I don't know, but it makes more sense later. Like, I don't know. I think it just like doesn't set up the story very well. It's a very confusing thing. A lot of things are happening, and because the characters are confused, the reader's kind of confused, I think.
Gotcha. But it all makes sense in the end, right? So you got to buy more than one issue.
Right.
Nice capitalism.
That's how they get you reading. That's how they get you spending money.
Am I supposed to know who that grandma was?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, she's the grandma of the boy, which is important, and you find out more later.
I was just like, oh, grandma knows everything. She gone.
Yeah, so apparently the thing, I guess, that is making these mutants disappear is this gunslinger-looking demon type thing.
No.
No?
He's not he's trying to free
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, so that's what I thought at first, that he was whatever the weird name was.
Yeah, we never see that guy again, I don't think.
Until issue 3.
Yeah, he's trying to free Liminal.
Liminal.
And to free Liminal, a certain number of seals need to be broken, and these seals have kept this guy kind of subdued. And to open the seals, there needs to be like human blood spilled on them. but they realize, and this is, I think, spoilers probably for the future, but they realize that mutant blood actually is more efficient and opens the seals like immediately, whereas like a seal would need a lot of humans. So that's why they're targeting the mutants.
Gotcha. So this guy, did you even know his name?
Liminal?
No, the gunslinger looking dude.
Oh no, I don't know his name.
So his name is the Demon Crow.
Oh.
Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
A game?
No, because AI told me.
Oh. Okay.
Some of us weaponize AI for good, but according to Microsoft Copilot, much of the issue centers around a brutal showdown between Magik and a new villain called the Demon Crow.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was like, did they say that? Did I just skip over it? Or did they not say it? But when I Googled Demon Crow, there's his picture.
Nice.
So all this time I was reading, like you said, very confusing. I thought this was Liminal that was trying to break the seals so he could come out. But no, it's just some other dude that's trying to break the seals so that Liminal can come out.
Liminal starts talking at the end of the issue. He's the one that has like the black and white squiggly speech bubbles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All I was thinking was he looked like Cassidy from Overwatch.
He did look like Cassidy from Overwatch.
He looks a lot like...
It's high noon.
There was a character that I mained on that one MOBA that was on the iPad. It was like a 3v3 and a really impressive MOBA. But it chewed through the batteries of the iPad pretty quickly. But there was a gunslinger that had really funny lines, and that's the guy that I played a lot in that game. But that's who he reminded me of. So I'll have to now see which MOBA came out first, or which game came out first. Overwatch or the one I was playing. But yeah, so we got these...
Because cowboys are so original.
Yeah. We got these seals that need to be broken. We've got this this family that Danny was alluding to, this grandma and her grandson. The grandma is in this family that has been charged with protecting these seals and keeping them intact for ages and ages. And, oh, by the way, grandson, I've been meaning to tell you about this.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to teach you all the ways that you can protect and keep our family's legacy going strong. But...
Yeah.
But I'm dead.
Luckily, I kept a good journal, so you can read that. So I guess moving forward into the series, it's going to be him and Magik going around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I liked when Magik used her magic instead of her sword, because the granny's like, "Hey, stop just swinging your sword and use some of the magic." And she cast a silent spell on this other dude who has kind of a neat skill where he's a gunslinger, but his magic spells kind of tell the bullets what to do, like split, explode.
Yeah.
I was like, what is he saying? But then it made sense after like 2 or 3 shots that his spells, he was charging these bullets with spells. Kind of neat. Kind of like Gambit, but with a much better weapon than a deck of cards.
But like Gambit could use a gun if he wanted to. It's not the cards that have power, it's him.
Yeah, but he'd be throwing the gun. He'd only get 1 shot.
So is this newly on Marvel Unlimited?
I think the first couple issues are there so far, so it's not new. It's been there a couple months at least. I just rewound back to issue 1 so we could have a good starting spot.
Yeah. I would suggest continuing reading because they get some good cameos in here. Like they have Danny Moonstar in, I hope that's her name. in a couple of issues.
Okay.
And then they get Madeline Pryor. That's her name, right?
Yep.
The Jean Grey clone.
Mm-hmm.
They get her in here a little bit, which is kind of cool. She's the current queen of Limbo.
Okay.
They call her the Goblin Queen.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So there's some cool stuff that happens, and with Liminal and with Magik. So I would continue reading. And every time I'm reading these like this, I'm like, oh, I think back to when we went to GalaxyCon and listened to that guy, Chris
Claremont.
Chris Claremont. He was like, oh, when you write comics, you have your run. You can do whatever you want to the character. Just, like, put them back to where they were when you're done.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of how...
Put them back on the shelf.
Yeah, that's kind of how comic books are. So I'm, like, thinking, like... And this, I don't know too much about Magik, but she's very anti Dark Child right now. And then something changes. And I'm wondering if that's going to stay or if that's going to go back. So there's a little bit of keep reading and find out what I'm talking about.
Nice. It's worth noting, since you mentioned Chris Claremont's name, that recently Marvel lost a legend again. And I think he was at the last Comic-Con that we went to. He might have been at GalaxyCon at the booths. His name's Jim Shooter. And I believe he was an editor-in-chief at Marvel for a long time, in addition to probably being a creator and artist at some point. But a big name, important in their legacy. So, little shout out to Jim Shooter for everything he did to contribute to Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
Always hate to see, legends being announced that they've passed away, but at least you want to leave something, and he's got no problem leaving something for sure.
Yeah, and Marvel does a really good job of putting memorials in their comic books.
Yeah, even the first page of this one was for an artist, and a nice full page spread for Greg Hildebrandt.
Oh.
Who I think he did more than just Marvel. I think he was very famous for paintings in the whole sci-fi world.
Very cool.
But yeah, nice little memorial to him. But didn't mean to take our whole episode into sad place there at the end. But that just came. I just saw that recently about Jim Shooter, and wanted to kind of shout out, along with another fallen hero as of today, as of the time of recording, Tom Sawyer's Island. I don't know if that's all over your timeline or not.
No.
But the riverboat has made it around the lake the last time. The island is now closed, and it's even removed from the park map if you go into the app.
Oh my gosh, that's fast.
Yeah.
They went yeet.
Yeah.
No more peanut butter sandwiches
No
up
more
in
picnics.
the playground. Yeah.
But worry not, listeners. I did voice my opinion on the interwebs for all to read and heed. Because
I don't know how much that's gonna do.
Because a lot of people, a lot of the younger people that just grew up not knowing, well, I don't know. Did you read Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn in school?
Yeah.
Huckleberry Finn.
Okay. All right. So
Read it.
that was. So you were familiar with the character, but
Yeah.
but I mean, not a relevant character for for the young ages.
Yeah.
So
Tom Sawyer's a little brat.
yeah, so that's the
All I remember.
that's the main argument. But my main argument is in a magical land where you have all these attractions that are very well scripted. You've got a story that you are being told or you are being a part of as you either ride a ride or watch a show or something like that. Tom Sawyer's Island is a place where you don't have a scripted story. It's It's yours to pretend. It's yours to, create your own story there. Walt Disney himself wanted that in the original plans for his original park as a place to explore as he was a kid and always wanting to go into the woods and create a tree house or something. And he wanted a place in his parks for kids of all ages to explore, pretend, write your own story. And I think that that's a much more important thing to maintain than some stupid Radiator Springs, or some...
Is that what they're putting there?
Yeah.
How is that even big enough for Radiator Springs?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they could have done like a Lost Boys type thing.
Some dumb...
And keep it in the Disney IP and then also have it...
IP that nobody cares about anymore.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Ride a race car to the island?
Yep.
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, there's no island anymore. The river's gone.
Huh?
The river's
Wait,
going to be...
what?
Yeah.
The rivers of America?
Yeah, it's going to be paved over.
What?
Wait, so no more rivers of America at all?
Nope.
No steamboat?
No steamboat.
Paddle boat?
No boats.
Whoa.
They may keep the steamboat, docked at the dock and have, a couple inches of river. I don't know.
Okay.
Because America is no longer a great force anymore. It's just a little tiny river. But all that has nothing to do with the comic that we read.
Yeah. Speaking of, I don't know if you can see the covers, but the cover artist, and I don't have the cover of the first issue, but I have I have a variant of the first issue, but for most of the other ones I have the main cover. And the person who does these arts, they draw Magik to look just like Anya Taylor-Joy, and it's crazy.
Oh, really?
Because she played her in the New Mutants.
New Mutants, yep.
Yeah, and that was probably she was probably the only redeeming thing of that movie was the small part where she used her powers.
Oh yeah.
But it's so cool seeing the covers of these and how much inspiration they take from her.
Yeah,
at least I think it's inspiration because it's too similar just to be on accident.
Right. Some of that, it gets into your subconscious and you can't let go even if it's not the intent.
Right.
And that I've seen that happen across the whole MCU where people start looking like the actors, which is fine. All right, so that was our episode on Magic #1 with sprinklings of dedications of fallen heroes and fallen islands. We really went off track there for a second. That was all my fault.
We?
Yeah, that was all my fault. But I couldn't stay silent any longer. I need my voice to be heard. Disney, do the right thing.
Now it's time for my voice to be heard. Disney, do whatever you want, change whatever you want, except for the Tower of Terror, please.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Here's 4 more seconds of my opinion on this. Disney's got a competitor, right up the street.
Yeah.
Who just launched
the coolest theme park.
I'm using air quotes here. 4th park, right? Because they count their water park as one. So they just opened their 4th park, and it's a magical land of many IPs. And Disney could have done that, right? Just build a 5th park. If they're going to build 4, you have to build 5. When they build 5, you have to build 6. So build a 5th park. Put your stupid IP in it. Put your cars and your, I don't know, Elio and whatever else you want to put in there. Have your, what's the Emotions movie?
Inside Out.
Yeah, have your Inside Out rides in there. Keep your hands.
They should just do a whole Pixar park.
Yeah. But
Pixar Park.
Instead, they take a part of their park that probably costs virtually nothing to upkeep. Right? There's no moving parts except for a raft. Costs them nothing to upkeep it, and they're paving that over to put some stupid cars in there.
Hey, Pave paradise, put up a parking lot, man.
At least it wasn't planes.
Planes.
I
We
was
don't
about
talk
to
about
say.
planes.
Or boats or
about to
whatever the
say.
other IPs are.
Take a plane to the island.
Yeah. All right.
Or boats.
That-
They don't have a boats movie.
We went off track, back on track, and off track again. Amber tried to keep me in play, but
Yeah, I tried.
Well, the episode's about magic. You didn't specify which kind of magic. Magic
Yeah, we can do
Kingdom.
that's right.
Disney magic.
There's dark magic in comics,
Well, we did specify. At the very beginning, we said magic with a K.
and there is the destruction
Oh, you're right.
and the paving over of magic happening as we speak. And we can't even blame the Dark Child. Blame Bob Chapek, or whatever his name is.
Whoa, name drop. Friend of the podcast.
The podcast, Bob Chapek. I don't even know if I'm getting his name right.
Was he the CEO of Disney?
He might be. You know me and names. I'm just as good as names as I am with remembering the movie I watched 4 hours ago.
That's where I get it from.
Yeah. All right, so let's wrap this thing up.
Let's.
Go to our socials. Complain about us going off the track, or us.
The singular us. You.
Yep. And because, as we know, in social media, there's no such thing as bad press. So if you go in to all of our socials and tag us and flame us over and over again, that's just interaction. And the algorithms like that. So please, go do it.
And talk to your Congress representatives about changing Disney. Because I'm sure your Congress representatives in, like, Kansas can do something about that.
Tom Sawyer's Island.
Yeah.
You know, your mother asked, because, let's see, Sunday was the last day. And I'm reading this Sunday morning on my feed about, this is the last day that's going to be open. She said, you going to fly down there? I said, yeah, chain myself to a tree.
Christopher.
I'd be surprised if someone didn't chain themselves to a tree.
That was
But
about doxing.
Hey, at least they still have Swiss Family Robinson.
yeah, like, okay.
Oh. Well, that's old.
Yeah, I think that one's just too expensive for them to remove.
Where are they going to place this big tree?
Yeah, or how are they going to get rid of it, and what are they going to put in the 4 square feet it takes up? They could have planted the tree on the island. Put cars right in the middle of Frontierland, which it actually is. But anyways,
What, it's going to be in Frontierland?
yeah,
That makes no sense.
you know, I guess the depiction that they have of Radiator Springs is more that desert, like Life is a Highway type thing. So, I don't know.
Sure.
With all the cowboys and the talking bears, you're going to have cars driving by.
That's another thing don't touch. Don't touch the Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 requests, Disney. Bob Chapek.
JPEG?
Bob JPEG.
I'm more of a PNG girly.
Yeah.
All right.
Better specs.
All right. Go talk to your congressman. Go check out the YouTube channel.
Don't bug your congressman. Well, do, but for the right reasons.
And while you're complaining to him or her, go ahead and complain about this episode.
And follow us.
And stay tuned next week when we come back and hopefully not go off the rails.
Hopefully have a little bit more structure.
But until then, peace out
Peace out.
and geek out.
And
Geek
geek
out.
out.
Thank you for listening to the Family Geekery podcast. For more information, visit www.familygeekery.com. Don't forget to subscribe at your favorite podcast provider. And until next time, peace out and geek out.